in the world go through it, and I think that's like where you can find your confidence. And I think
So, this is how revolutions begin. Not with banners raised or alarms sounded, but with whispers. Whispers passed in locker room tunnels, exchanged through knowing glances across packed arenas, and drafted quietly in backroom meetings between agents and power brokers. This is how the WNBA finds itself standing on the brink. Not of a season or a playoff run, but of a full-blown power shift that may change the league forever. And at the center of this silent uprising isn't a commissioner or a franchise, but a rookie, a woman whose name already echoes across sports history, Caitlin Clark. She was supposed to be the face of a new era. She is becoming something far more dangerous. She's the architect of it. Or rather, the voice and image of a vision that someone else is quietly putting into motion. Because while Caitlin Clark drops logo threes and dissects defenses with court,
good. I'm going to be day to day from here on out, and doing everything I can to put myself in a position to play.
Vision that's almost otherworldly. Someone else is moving the chess pieces off the court. Her agent, Erin Kane, the woman behind the curtain. And make no mistake, this isn't your typical agent maneuvering for endorsement deals or better press coverage. Kane is orchestrating what may become the biggest power shift in WNBA history. See, most fans see Caitlin Clark as a player, a generational scorer, a phenom, a ratings machine. But that's just the surface. The deeper truth is that Clark is no longer just a basketball asset. She's a political weapon in a league where control has always belonged to ownership and front offices. But now, the balance is shifting, and it's doing so with a terrifying elegance. It all centers on the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement that governs every contract, every restriction, every pathway a player can take.
And then I took one in transition. That's kind of like where I like to get to early, and it's always good.
Most fans never read it. Most players never question it. But Erin Kane is not most people. She's found the cracks. She's exploring the loopholes. And she's using the most powerful player in women's sports as her battering ram. This isn't a rebellion. It's a quiet legal revolution. A masterstroke of leverage. It's because if Kane succeeds, Clark won't just be remembered as one of the greatest basketball players of her generation. She'll be remembered as the player who changed the system, who gave future stars the tools to own their careers from day one. And that's the nightmare scenario for the league. Because when power stops belonging to the boardroom and starts belonging to the locker room, everything changes. No more rookies waiting their turn. No more underpaid stars locked into restrictive deals. No more one-sided trades. This is about rewriting what it means to be a professional athlete in the WNBA, and it's already started. Behind closed doors, Erin Kane is lobbying for early movement rights, for salary clause flexibility, for agency provisions that don't.
Unrivaled League needs Caitlin Clark, and they are preparing to offer her a massive...
Just protect players. They empower them. If the current CBA is a cage, Kane is picking the lock. And if she gets that lock open for Caitlin Clark, it'll be impossible to close it again. Other agents will follow. Other stars will rise. The blueprint will have been written. That's why there's a chill across the league right now. It's not because of anything said out loud, but because of everything that's unsaid. General managers feel it. Owners sense it. They can see the wave building on the horizon. And they know who's paddling at the front. Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA to score points. She came to bend it.
Your family taking shots at Caitlin Clark and all that. We dealt with this with Alyssa Smith and her brother. We couldn't wait
to reshape it. Not with force, but with inevitability. Because the year everyone's watching is 2026. That's when the league structure faces an unprecedented unraveling. Nearly 87.5% of projected all-stars will be unrestricted free agents. Not just any. Free agents. Unrestricted. They can walk without permission. There's no match in offers. No strings. Total freedom. Imagine it. One summer, dozens of superstars. Free to choose. Free to leave. Free to build whatever dynasty they want. Wherever they want. This isn't an off-season, it's an earthquake. Erin Kane has already read the map. She's not planning for it. She's preparing to lead it, because whoever controls that moment controls the future of the league. The signs are already here. The pressure isn't in headlines, it's in the silence.
Clark's delusional fans stay mad and call me all the names in the book, but we all saw, including y'all,
Executives exchanging nervous phone calls. Agents whispering strategy. Teams eyeing their stars with fear instead of certainty. Because all it takes is one move, one decision, one precedent. And then the floodgates open. And here's where things get dangerous. The ground is already shaking.
How the league just doesn't want to admit it?
The first tremor. A post-game photo. A tunnel moment that passed most fans by but left the league's insiders speechless. After a game at Barclays, center Caitlin Clark was caught in a moment standing side by side with Sabrina Ionescu and Breena Stewart, the two titans of the New York Liberty. Laughing, talking, looking, too comfortable, but the camera didn't just catch the players. Caught Erin Kane standing in frame, calm, present, watching. She wasn't hiding. She wanted to be seen too. The public, it was a harmless shot.
I like Caitlin Clark, and it's clear today their family really don't care about them either. Now,
A rookie chatting with the stars. But to those who understand the politics of the league, it was a bombshell. Why was Clark, the league's most valuable asset, casually bonding with the core of a potential super team? Why was her agent right there, framed perfectly by the lens? It wasn't an accident. It was a warning. Indiana took notice. So did the Liberty. So did the entire WNBA. Was it a recruitment? A flirtation? Or was it a message from Can telling the league that her client isn't a commodity to be controlled? She's a force to be reckoned with. But this raises the most crucial question. Why would Clark even consider leaving Indiana? The answer lies beneath the surface where fractures have been forming since day one. What looked like a dream debut quickly turned complicated.
Meant diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance as the offensive engine of the Indiana Fever and saying that
Clark arrived as a phenomenon, but what she got in return was confusion. Injuries sidelined her for multiple games, a strange twist for a player known for her resilience. But worse than the injuries was the dismissiveness from her own coaching staff. Stephanie White's comments minimized the pain Clark was in. She wasn't hurt, just feeling something. That line alone sent shockwaves through fans and insiders alike. It sounded like detachment. It sounded like Clark's health wasn't being taken seriously. Then came the system. The Indiana Fever didn't adjust to Clark's style. They boxed it in, slowed it down. Removed the speed, the danger, the flair that made her a star. She voiced her frustration publicly, a rare breach of locker room protocol. But it wasn't an outburst. It was a calculated move. She was drawing a line, sending a message. This isn't what I signed up for. What followed wasn't a trade demand. It was something much smarter. A campaign. Not loud, but surgical. Subtle posts. Strategic interviews. Meetings behind closed doors. Kane and Clark began crafting a narrative.
when Clark came back from injury the first time. And then there were some nice words. I missed the moment myself.
Of rebellion, but of evolution. They weren't rejecting the system. They were highlighting how it was failing. And now, that campaign has reached its next phase. The CBA renegotiation. The most powerful weapon Kane could ask for. Because while Clark is technically locked into a rookie deal until 2028, contracts are only as strong as the system that enforces them. And that system? It's cracking. The players' union has opted out of the current agreement. Everything is being rewritten. And while most are focused on salary caps or travel upgrades, Kane is focused on mobility, on changing the very rules that allow players to move, grow, choose their future. She's not fighting for a Caitlin Clark trade. She's building a future where Caitlin Clark doesn't need one. A future where rookies aren't beholden to franchises that don't match their ambition. And here's where it gets even more potent. Clark isn't just making noise with contracts. She's doing it with every performance. Her stats speak for themselves. See a scoring queen, Team USA prodigy. Rookie phenom leading the league in assists while averaging nearly 20 points per game. And even while battling injury, she's not fading, carrying herself with the poise of a tenure. Veteran and the hunger of a player just getting started. And then there was that moment. Carver Hawkeye Arena, the court that made her a legend. The exhibition against Brazil, it should have been ceremonial. Instead, it became iconic. 4 threes in 6 attempts. It's one of them an outrageous 36-footer from beyond the painted logo that marked her NCAA scoring record. The crowd didn't just cheer. They erupted. Not because of the distance, but because of what it meant. She was rewriting her own history again, and as the ball sank through the net, she turned, smiled, and stared directly into the camera. It wasn't celebration, it was confirmation. Reminder that every time she steps on the court, she's not just playing. She's building a legacy that transcends jerseys and stat sheets. So when people ask, is she really going to leave Indiana? They're asking the wrong question. It's not about whether she leaves. It's about what her next move represents. Because Caitlin Clark doesn't need to request a trade to destabilize the league. Her mere presence, her ability to command headlines, dominate games, and bend policies enough to rewrite the power structure of the WNBA in real time. This is the new model. Players as brands, agents as architects. The league no longer dictates the narrative. It responds to it. And if the old guard refuses to adapt, it will be swept away by the new. Clark and Kane aren't demanding change. They're embodying it. They're building a machine not to burn the league down, but to rebuild it in their image. Every contract clause they challenge. Every silent meeting they arrange. Every viral moment they engineer it's part of a master plan. A slow, deliberate takeover done not with tantrums or ultimatums, but with vision and patience.